We're all about the Archers. I'm Philippa and I'm joined by Lauren and Katie today because we are here. Very special time here today. We are here to talk to Jack Ashton, who plays Harry Chilcott. Jack, welcome. Thanks for joining us.
Welcome.
Hi, how you doing? Thank you very much. That was nice. I got a round of applause. Wow.
Well, it's
I'm very well, thank you very
exciting
much.
to. Good. Well, it's exciting to hear. We've talked to some of the longest serving cast members, and now it's lovely to speak to someone, the newest cast member, apart from Champion the Horse, I think.
Yeah. Oh look,
Beaten by
I'm already
Champion.
one rung up the ladder. You see,
Yeah.
I've only been here 4 months, and I'm already not the new guy.
Wow, 4 months. But welcome to the Archers, all about the Archers, and welcome to the Archers. What is it like being the newest member of the cast? Are they looking after you? Do you feel welcome?
It's constant practical jokes and bullying. No, they are
Relentless.
Relentless. Yeah, they keep eating my lunch. No, they have been so welcoming, and it's been hard for me because there's loads of them, and they go, hi, I'm so and so, and I go, right, I remember that. Hi, I'm so and so, right, I remember that, and I don't. So everyone's darling or mate or hey, it'll come to me, but they've been very, very lovely, and it's been nice. It's actually the best bit of it is being in the little green room before you go in and record, because that's the bit where your sort of storylines kind of, where you sort of talk to people that aren't in your particular storyline and get to know them, and they're all very, very lovely, very lovely.
Right.
I'm happy to be here.
Good.
Oh, well, we're happy to have you. Have you have you done any radio acting before? Like, how is it different between? Obviously, you can't see it, but how different is it to the television acting?
It's very different, actually. I mean, there are lots of pros and a few cons, and I think it's just a different style. And actually, talking about the other cast, they are so good at it. It's about I don't know. I'm not about to write a book on radio acting because I'm quite new to it. But it seems to be about the way that they manage to fill even the pauses with life. Because when you do telly, you kind of it's obviously visual, and so therefore if you're not talking, you're not. You feel like you're still watchable. You're still telling a story. There's still body language, but with radio, there's none of that. So if you just kind of just say your line and that's it, there can feel like like you're sort of falling off a cliff all the time. So it's about filling. It's about sort of letting people know that you're about to speak and after your line, and it's about they have an energy when they do it, which is really really interesting, and they're very good at it, and I'm hopefully slowly learning from them.
What the place to learn, though.
Yeah.
An amazing place to learn from those people who have been doing it for years. And amazing.
Their voices are so rich, aren't they?
Yeah.
And these, they're proper thesps as well. That you talk to them and they're talking about, when they were at the RSC and all that sort of stuff. So they've got an amazing grounding in vocal work anyway. So you don't just happen to have a voice like that. It takes years and years of vocal work and diaphragm and all that sort of stuff, and then they can sort of bring it down, and just it's the richness that they talk with, I think, which I'm quite in awe of. I hope I'll learn something from them.
And is the process in a way the same as with other things that you've done? I mean, obviously, yes, it's audio only, but in terms of getting the script and rehearsing and recording, or is it just so very different?
It's the same up to a point. Brilliant that you don't have to learn the lines. It's the same up to a point, because you're sort of, it's the same questions. Where have I been? What's my objective? What energy am I bringing in? How does that, and essentially also being affected by the other actor and how they're performing, and which should always, dictate how you respond. I mean, that's basically, acting in a nutshell is listening and reacting as naturally as you possibly can. It's the same, but because of the nature of it and the speed of it, that all has to be done in a quite a short amount of time. So with telly, you might have, oh, I've got a big scene today, whereas in the Archers you might have several. So it's and also about, once it's done, discard it, move on, right? And also we record out of sync a lot, so you've got to constantly remind yourself, that actually I've actually come from here, and actually, oh, that's happened. But even though it hasn't happened for you, it's happened in the script. So you have to, you have to keep up with it, which we always do at the beginning of the episode. We discuss, okay, so where are we? But I mean, that happens in telly as well. So that's not necessarily different.
What?
But yeah.
It's not all filmed chronologically.
Telly's even worse. Telly's even worse because you can be doing your final scene on your first day. And it's like, so you have to do the prep, before you have to know where you think you might be, and hopefully it will sync when you do the rest of it. Sometimes it doesn't because you've made different choices along the way, but that's why they, where possible, they will try to do things chronologically because it makes sense.
You're getting that all down in notebooks. How are you keeping on top of all of that? Like knowing where you are.
Yeah, I suppose just writing notes on the scripts and and notebooks and and what I do is if we're out of sync, like because I live in London, so I get the train up, I'll read the previous episodes before the episode we're going to record, just so I can so I feel like I've refreshed myself adequately, so that I'm not acting, I'm not sort of pretending. I've made some choices about the other scripts I'm going to do on the other days.
Wow. Such a just so much to it. Amazing.
Yeah, it was. It's great, and the Foley artists, the Ness, and everybody like that, they're amazing. Like everything they're doing, and making it like alive. They make it alive, and I'm learning on the job. Like when you asked me if I'd done radio before, I have done radio before, but not an awful amount of it. So. Not anything like this anyway. So this is it's a steep learning curve for me as well, but one that I'm really enjoying.
Right. Well, we're enjoying it too. But also, speaking of things I've enjoyed with you in, Jack, I'm a massive Call the Midwife fan. Massive. And Call the Midwife was my lockdown viewing. My husband and I watched an episode every night for as long as I can remember, and I loved seeing Tom and Barbara together, the chemistry, it was just lovely. And how does it compare, building chemistry on the radio compared to building chemistry face to face? Because I believe in Harry and Alice. I believe in it.
Oh wow, good. How is it different? How does it compare? I think obviously with telly, there is no script, as in like you've learnt the lines, and it's obviously much more physical because you're telling the story. You're if you would hug, you would kiss, you would, whatever it is, you can, I'm not just saying that I put that stuff in, that's actually in the script. But obviously with radio, it's a nod to, so, so I think it's less, we're not sort of gazing into each other's eyes when we're doing it, because we practically there's just a piece of paper in the way, so it's less tactile for sure, but the nature of the show, because it moves so fast, the story happens a lot quicker than it would, in telly. You might take 6 months to tell that story, but we're taking 6 weeks, so it's fast moving, which I really like, actually, because in telly, sometimes you can have like, oh, I'm really looking forward to the end of next week because there's a really great scene. Whereas radio, it's every day there's something. So that's cool.
So Harry loves his horses, as we know.
He
So
does.
I wondered if Harry could have his own racehorse, what would he call it?
Oh. He loves his cars as well.
Mm.
He likes fast things.
Yeah.
What would he call it? Bullet.
Oh.
It's a good one. 10 to 1.
I think he might call it Bullet. Yeah, I think he might. Yeah, he particularly likes the speed and the danger. You know.
Have you been on a horse before, Jack?
I have
Oh.
not. You know, I can't ride a horse. You know,
No.
Sometimes auditions come up.
That wasn't part of the audition process.
Yeah. Oh, that. Do you know what though? That is the hardest bit of playing Harry, because I'm always on a horse.
Yeah.
And we're stood next to each other, and the technical guy's like, "You don't sound like you're on a horse," and I'm like, "Yeah, I'll like I've got to try and sound like I'm above Holly all the time." And it's so we have to do it by sort of staggering ourselves in the studio. So I'm sort of slightly behind her, and then I have to pitch up and speak down to her, which is where she stood right there. You know, it's brilliant. Tricky. That's. I say, "Oh, you're on a horse again, Harry." "Oh, am I?" "Yeah." "Oh, yeah." "Can I? Do I ever use my legs?" Yeah. Yeah, exactly. And also, especially, we've had a few scenes where we've just finished, you know, riding. You know, sort of, you know, we're sort of exhausted. So it's not only I'm on a horse, but I'm also out of breath. So I'm doing star jumps at the side, because acting out of breath is really hard. So it's just easier to be out of breath, because then you can then just focus on reading the script. You know, if you've got to keep reminding yourself that you're out of breath, it kind of it's quite, you know, there's another thing to do. So it's just easier to just tire yourself out. Which is a good idea until you have to do it 7 times.
Just be exhausted.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Now, Jack, we don't want any spoilers. That's not what we're here for. But we do have to talk about Harry, because when Harry first came on the scene and we heard Lillian Googling Harry Chilcott, we were all over this. We wanted to know all about him. Was he good, bad? And we've heard him being, we think, nice. We've heard him, we think, being not nice. Oh, as I said, we don't want you to give anything away, but have you been told more than the audience know at this point?
What do you know? When at point of recording,
we were very suspicious of your evil intentions meeting Chris and not explaining to him before why you were meeting.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Okay. Fair.
No. Yes. So there's a nod to there being a bit more about him. So I would certainly say that is the case. And there is certainly more that we're recording at the moment that will be, I think, you know, quite interesting.
Wow. What did you as Jack think of Harry's move to employ your new girlfriend's ex-husband to come and do a job for you?
It was a bit clumsy, wasn't it? A little bit clumsy, and I don't think he's quite aware of the sort of status that he sort of exudes. And I think he put poor Chris, played by Wilf. Wilf is a legend, by the way, in a bit of a pickle. But good old Wilf, he can't be too intimidated by me, because in real life he's about a foot taller than me and he's got loads of muscles.
He could do the horse scenes easily.
He could do the horse scenes fine. Yeah, he just needs to stand there. Yeah. But yeah, there's certainly more to come. But do you know what? They don't actually tell me much. I absorb it. We get the scripts every month, so I'm sort of learning as I go. They've sort of said a few things. You're constantly kind of like picking it up on the breeze, like, what was that? And obviously other characters get told things which sometimes affects your character. So you're like, oh, sorry, did you? Is that? So
yeah,
they I think they purposely don't tell you, but they also perhaps are sort of not. They've got the super arc, and then within that they're not. They're still making decisions as they go, because obviously they're writing it constantly. So I don't think they want to be held to your character's doing this and that and whatever. It's just more of a like, well, we think this, but we'll see. So which is really interesting. I mean, there's obviously things that you need to know because you need to play them. So that's where information is important. But so far, I've been told just about as much as I need to know, which is fine. But there's some bits and bobs coming up which you might like.
Bits and bobs, we're into that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry. You know what it's like. I have to be as vague as possible.
Yeah, and we want to keep on the right side of the BBC as well. So no, that's fine. But
listen, I did 5 years of Call the Midwife. We used to do a press day, and we just used to have to sit there and say, well, this series, there'll be lots for you to, like just generic.
There'll be babies.
There'll be babies, and of course there'll be romance, and of course there'll be the East End. It was like right, and the journalists are writing it down like. So I don't know why they bothered to come back year after year. It's like this. It's like the same. You might might as well just play the same message out of a speaker.
Doing the Christmas special, there'll be Christmas and
there'll be, and it will be special.
Yeah, it'll be special, heartwarming.
Yeah. So I'm glad you understand.
We're not going to press you for details.
No, because all of a sudden my battery will run out on my computer.
So as a Bristol City fan, been doing my research, do you think Harry would start an Ambridge FC, or do you think he's more of a cricket guy?
I think the circles that he may have grown up in, he would be more of a rugby or a cricket guy.
I was thinking rugby.
I mean, I love all. I'm an absolute sports addict, so I love all three almost equally. So I think he would be quite keen on a game of sevens. Mind you, he's got a broken hip, so I think probably village cricket is his level now. He'd be a spin bowler, but he'd be a sort of batsman that would sort of charge down the wicket and try and hit a six, and get bowled out.
Tracy would love you.
Yeah, exactly. Then blame the pitch, But I think it's certainly less football and probably more rugby or cricket.
Jack, I want to talk to you about the fandom of the Archers, because you'll have come across fandom of obviously Call the Midwife and all sorts of other things that you've been in, but I don't know, it just seems to me that the fandom of the Archers and the analysis that goes on seems at another level. Is that something, have you had a look on social media to see the response to Harry so far, or are you staying away?
Bit frightened.
Staying away. I've learned my lesson on that. I've learned my lesson through, I've been just about doing this for about 20 years, and I used to do all that, and no good can come of it. It's because it's always lovely when you come across somebody who's that thinks you're brilliant, but it can really go the other way if you read something negative, and so I have no idea. What's the general vibe? Save me from the painful stuff. What's the general vibe?
People are suspicious of him. Of him.
But to be fair, we're suspicious of any new character that comes along.
Yeah.
You know, we're even suspicious of Champion the horse, to be fair. So yeah, anyone new that comes on, we're like, oh my goodness, they're a spy. They've come in. They're a murderer. They're going to do something. So yeah, it's nothing about you. It's just about Harry that everyone's MI5ing it, I'm afraid.
Well, you wait till it's midnight and all the Trojans come out of Champion the horse.
Spoiler.
Christmas special.
Oh no.
Yes.
Oh, I'm gonna lose my job. I've just given away the Christmas special. The Trojans are coming.
Well, when you get a new cast member come as well, you never know if they're going to stick around. So like,
yeah. Well, do you know what?
We just thought you were a stroppy man who was cross fireworks night.
I went big on that one, didn't I? Yeah, I thought I'd come in with a bang.
Yeah. Fireworks. Yep.
Yeah, exactly. You know, Marmite, love 'em or hate 'em. Yeah. The thing, I can say though, that I don't actually know what his future will hold. I know what the next few weeks will hold, and then so on and so on. So that's interesting. Will he hang around?
Mm.
I can't tell you. I literally can't tell you. I'm not avoiding the question. Yeah. No, it'd be nice. I'm really enjoying it. I'm like, they only record for a couple of weeks in the month because they're writing it. So it's been a fairly busy January thus far. So I was in all day today and I'm in all day tomorrow. So hence I'm staying in this glamorous hotel.
Well, before we come on, we've got some questions from the people in the Facebook group, but just very quickly before we come on to that, Jack, it's an important question and I've got to ask it. Jack, we need to know both your favourite biscuit, but also what you think Harry's favourite biscuit is. Biscuits are important, I'm afraid, for this podcast. So can you hit us with both, whether they're the same or quite different?
See, the thing is, my answer would be, can I pick two for myself? Because it depends what mood I'm in.
Yeah, you may.
If I'm hungry, then I want a chocolate hobnob.
Mm.
But if I'm just grazing, I could quite easily do half a pack of rich tea.
That's gone down terribly.
Yeah. You don't like rich tea?
Silence.
Yes.
I love Dunkin'.
Just not much chocolate.
I love rich tea in. Oh right. Well, yeah. Well, I quite like chocolate fingers as well, but they're not really a biscuit. But I like Dunkin' rich tea in tea.
Fair enough. No,
I'll tell you what. Okay, for Harry, he likes a ginger snap.
Yeah.
Yes.
They're nice.
Because I like them too. So let's put them. Let's say that Harry likes ginger snap.
They pollute the whole jar though, don't they? You got a ginger snap in there that is just wiping out the taste of any other. You get a rich tea next to that ginger snap, you've got a ginger tea before you know it.
I think to be honest, that's a match made in heaven for me. A ginger rich tea would be the way forward.
So we've got some questions from the Facebook group that we'd like to ask. Lauren, you go first.
Yeah, so I'll start. Richard asks, is Harry posh and dangerous, posh and manipulative, or posh and stupid? I think stupid the overall thing is posh.
Stupid people don't know they're stupid.
No.
Posh and dangerous, posh and
manipulative. I mean, they're all lovely, aren't they? What about just posh and nice?
I think. Do you know what? I think he could possibly oscillate between all three of those.
Okay.
Yeah. He's definitely dangerous. His mindset is very driven, which can obviously have collateral damage.
Well, I've got a question from Dawn, and she would like to know what you think Harry's most redeeming feature is.
Oh, his heart on his sleeve. He definitely he feels, and he loves, and he really 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 connects with Alice. So I think he's got incredible empathy.
So,
okay.
Jack, we have, every time we interview a cast member, we ask them a question presented by the previous cast member we interviewed. So the last person we interviewed was Susie, the wonderful Susie who plays Tracy. And she asked you this question. If Harry was going to teach Tracy horse riding, how would he go about it?
Go on.
Well, he'd probably wonder why she wasn't very good, you know. I don't know. Well, I'm not saying she's not very good. I just think that he's got a very high bar. I don't think he'd be a good teacher.
No.
I think he'd be quite sort of, come on.
Yeah.
You know, he'd
on
tell
the
you
horse.
once, and he'd want you to. Yeah, he'd want you to. Why can't you do it yet? You know. Yeah, I don't think he'd. I think he might have. I don't think he'd have great patience for teaching.
Oh, sad times.
Perhaps.
But that might be a sad.
I'm sure he could teach very well. But I'm just thinking about the scenes that we've recorded. I think he might not be cut out for teaching.
Well, you're certainly cut out for playing the part of Harry. Jack, it's just wonderful to talk to you and hear more about your experience. Honestly, we're so grateful for you coming on.
Well, you know, let's do it again in a couple of months, and there'll be
when the bits and bobs have happened.
Yeah, exactly.
Thank you. Now,